All right, so I don't know if you've ever been in one of these situations where you've been out somewhere at a really nice party, or you've had people over at your place, and then you realize that you don't have the thing, right? Whatever that thing is, you don't own one. And in that moment, you really, really wish that you did. Or maybe you've been somewhere else at some other function, and they have the thing. And then you realize how cool that is to be prepared with the thing and the knowledge to be able to use it. Now, either way, today I'm going to cover some ground with classic men's accessories for every occasion, starting out with something that you actually wear, and that's cufflinks. So, having worked in the wedding industry for several years, it came to my attention pretty quickly that a lot of guys simply don't know that there's a front side and a back side to your shirt cuff, and that cufflinks only go in one way. A lot of guys also don't realize that not all shirts can accept a cufflink. Let me show you. First, we have the traditional French cuff shirt. Now, this is the gold standard formal dress shirt that you should maybe consider having in your wardrobe for those really special occasions. And as you can see, the sleeve cuffs are super long, but all you do is just fold it back over on itself, line up all the holes right here, and then insert the cufflink through all 4 holes. Now let's talk about the front and the back. So with your arms hanging straight down, your outside wrist bone is the front. That's where the decorative part of that cufflink should be showing. So start at the outside of the shirt cuff and then insert the cufflink all the way through and then fold over that tab lock to keep it secure. Now the other type of shirt that can take a cufflink is this. Now it's not going to be as formal, but it will totally work. Now this cuff doesn't fold over on itself like the French cuff, but as you can see, there's a hole right here between these 2 buttons. And of course, the other hole on the other side of the cuff. So these are the 2 holes that you're going to use to insert the cufflink through. Now the buttons on the inside are still going to show, but in a pinch, it totally works. Now I want to talk about pocket squares. So in my opinion, if you're wearing a suit jacket, a blazer, or a sports jacket, and it has a breast pocket, it should have a pocket square in it. I mean, look, you can go with the standard white pocket square for a little more formal look, or you can simply go with any color that complements something else that you might be wearing. Now, if you want to know how to fold your pocket square a bunch of different ways, there's a really old video on my channel that I made years ago that I'll link for you down below. Okay, one quick pocket square hack that I want to let you guys know about, and this is something else that I learned during my time in the wedding industry, and that's how to keep the pocket square in place. Because here's the deal. A lot of those pocket squares that come with like rental suits and rental tuxedos are made of like satin or something, and they're really slippery and they fall right down inside the pocket and you can't even see it. So what I do is I'll get just a wad of tissue paper or toilet paper, put that down in your pocket first. Then put the pocket square on top. The tissue paper is basically just taking up space in the bottom of your pocket, so the pocket square always stays up. Okay, now let's shift focus a little bit to something a little more unique, cigars and cigar accessories. So these are for those like special occasions or those moments of celebration between you and your buddies or you and your family members. Now, you do not have to be an aficionado, but there are just a few things that you should know about cigars. First, how to cut your cigar. Now, there's a few different ways that you can do this. You can go with a hole punch, or you can do a standard straight cut, or you can use a V-cut. Now, a lot of guys, me included, like to get the cap wet before we make our cut. But here's the deal. If you're using somebody else's cutter, it's generally in bad form to cut your wet cigar that you've had in your mouth and then give the cutter back. So if you're using somebody else's cutter, just don't wet the cap first. Now, it doesn't really necessarily matter what type of cut you use, and personally, I like to use the punch cutter. I generally start with the punch, and then if the cigar is a little bit too tight, I might go with the V-cut, or I'll grab my draw tool. All right, now is the time to light your cigar, but don't light it like a cigarette and just start going. Start by toasting the end or the foot, but be patient and make sure it's lit evenly before you have your first puff. And if you're curious, all of these cigars are from Cigar Place, who was gracious enough to sponsor today's video. Cigar Place started in 2005, and today these guys are a premier specialty cigar e-commerce company serving thousands of cigar enthusiasts from all around the world. Their product catalog has in excess of like 10,000 items to choose from. And their website is really cool because if you're not exactly sure where to start, you can sort by cigar strength, country origin, size, and shape to make sure you get something that you're gonna like. Another cool thing that I really enjoy are the sample packs that they already have pre-selected. Now, the one they sent me is the MYM Aging Room Special Selection Sampler Part 2. The cool thing about the sample packs is that when you get them like that, you're saving like 35% over MSRP. They also have a 2-cigar guarantee. They guarantee the freshness and quality of all their cigars 100%. So if you're not satisfied after smoking 2 cigars that you get from them, they'll provide you with a full refund or an exchange. They even have a ton of cigar accessories like lighters, cutters, and ashtrays. So if you're interested, there's gonna be a special link with a discount code right down below in the description box, and that's gonna save you $10 off your entire order of $100 or more. Now, keep in mind, this offer is only valid through November 30th of 2023. So click that link, take a look around at everything they have, and grab yourself something for that upcoming special occasion. All right, now I wanna talk about wine glasses and wine accessories. Now, first things first, it really doesn't matter what wine glass you use to enjoy your glass of wine. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna talk about white wine and red wine glasses. Now, if you wanna get technical, there's 2 main glasses for red wine, the Burgundy glass and the Bordeaux glass. Now, the Burgundy glass is gonna be wider at the bottom and then taper up towards the top. Now, this is gonna be for your lighter body red wines like Pinot Noir, Grenache, and Sangiovese. Okay, now even though mine are kind of on the large size, the Bordeaux glass is similar, but as you can see, it's not quite as wide towards the bottom. This is for your fuller bodied reds like Petit Syrah and Cabernet Sauvignon. Now for white wine, the standard white wine glass is gonna be a little bit smaller than the Bordeaux glass, but as you can see, shaped pretty similar. All right, now let's chat about wine openers and corkscrews. Now the one that's very common that you probably have is this one called the wing corkscrew. This one's super easy to use, it's safe, and it works best with the bottle like already sitting on a table or a countertop. Next you have electric wine openers, but I'm kind of old school and I don't really like using those, but I can totally appreciate and respect the convenience. Now next, you have the Osso cork puller. Now these are generally gonna be reserved for older bottles that have maybe brittle corks or corks that might not be in the best condition. Now my preferred tool is the wine key or the waiter's corkscrew. More specifically, a wine key that has a hinged brace just like this, because that allows you to easily remove the cork in 2 stages without bending or breaking the cork in half. So I used to work at a really busy winery and we would open a lot of bottles of wine on a daily basis. I'd always keep one of these right in my back pocket because I always needed it. And when you open enough bottles and you get pretty good at it, you can stand there and open a bottle tableside without having to set the bottle down on something to help you open it. And on a side note, gentlemen, if you want to see more wine videos from me, let me know in the comments. All right, next is your watch, or I might say watches. Now, I've made a few videos in the past talking about smart watches and how, at least in my opinion, they're just not the best choice for certain occasions. And once again, just for the sake of this video, I would suggest 2 different types of watches that could pretty much get you through any occasion. First, a sport watch or a dive watch like this. I have several dive watches and sport watches, and even though these can be dressed up to a certain degree, a true dress watch will most likely have a leather strap. Now, truth be told, my dress watch game isn't the best that it could be, but I also don't attend a lot of like really formal events. But when I do, this is the watch I go for. Right now I've got it on a black strap, but I do have a brown one as well. And as you can see, it's super clean. It's also nice and thin, so it easily slides under your shirt cuff. It's understated. It doesn't call a lot of attention to itself, but it also looks great on the wrist. And for the record, I'm not suggesting that you need to just run out and spend a whole wad of cash on a new watch or anything, but I guess what I am saying is that every so often, when you find yourself at a nice event, a nice gathering, or a holiday party, it's just nice to know that you have some of these things in your back pocket, ready to go without having to stress about maybe not being completely prepared. And really quick, before you guys take off, if you missed this video from just a few weeks ago, I really think you're gonna like it. Please subscribe if you're not already, and as always, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Live well, and I'll see you in the next one.